Hi, it's Sandy Wyllie. Welcome to my mental health channel where I wipe away the stigma of mental illness by talking about my own struggles, having borderline personality disorder, complex post-traumatic stress disorder. I talk about my anxiety and panic attacks, my depression. I talk about my narcissistic mother who brutally beat me as a child, and narcissism as well. I talk about schizophrenia and my dad who was a paranoid schizophrenic. I talk about my unethical psychologist who raped me and all the different types of therapy that I've been in during the years, and just about a plethora of other mental health related topics. But I only come on as a former patient of almost 20 years. I am not a licensed therapist. I do not hold a degree in psychology, so I cannot diagnose you or give you a professional opinion. All I ask in return of you is your kindness and respect in the comments. Please be kind and respectful to other people who comment. We don't need to agree on everything, but we do need to show each other kindness and respect always. Now, if you are new to my channel, welcome. Hit that subscribe button on the lower right hand corner. It's 100% free. Stick around, take a chance. You'll be notified that way every time a new video comes up. And if you like it, share it. Let's spread the wealth, spread the love, so that we can all be part of the same community. Today's video, I'm going to talk about toxic masculinity and toxic femininity. I almost said that wrong. Let's start that over again, okay? Take two. Today's video, we're going to talk about toxic masculinity and toxic femininity. Now, I've seen a lot of videos cover the topic of toxic masculinity, and I've seen a lot of other videos by women and men cover toxic femininity. But I don't want to leave anyone out on my video, or I don't want people to think I'm prejudiced against one sex or another sex, so I'm going to cover both. What is this thing toxic? What masculinity, toxic femininity, what's that mean? Actually, it's a cultural concept from society that glorifies how a man is supposed to be and how a female is supposed to be. And what makes it toxic is their glorifying isn't truthful. It's harmful to both men and women. And I'll explain how it's harmful. That's why we call it toxic. Because they give these concepts of what, a strong man, a good man is supposed to be. Same with, they give the concepts of what a woman is supposed to be, which is toxic. Like a lot of people who've done videos on toxic femininity describe the Barbie movie. Anyone see the Barbie movie? I haven't, and I never will. It looks ridiculous, Yeah. But that movie, the Barbie movie, portrays women in a toxic way that's harmful. That isn't good for their mental health. When I grew up, the Barbie dolls, okay, now they make Barbie dolls different. Today they make Barbie dolls different heights, weights, handicapped Barbie dolls, everything, Barbie woman astronauts. I'm not talking about the way they do things today. Back in the day, when I grew up, when I was a kid in the 60s and the 70s, the female version of Barbie doll was tall, got a tiny little waist, big tits, long, most of them had long, beautiful hair, young, they were all young, stick skinny, right? And that was the concept of what the American woman was supposed to be. This is harmful because I grew up in that era, and a lot of people had eating disorders, were anorexic or bulimia. Sorry, I'm not pronouncing it right. They had anorexia or they had bulimia because they were comparing themselves, real human woman, to like this Barbie doll figure, and then they made the Barbie like a dum-dum, like a earhead, she just had to look good, she had to, pour on the sexual, charm, and they sexualized the Barbie doll. Yeah, but they sexualized her. A woman, therefore, try to emulate her. Little girls try to emulate Barbie. They thought, she had a little nose, big bosom, tiny little waist, stick skinny, so it gave young girls growing up a poor concept of themselves because they saw, look at this is the ideal woman, this Barbie figure, this Barbie doll that's on all the shelves, and every girl, including me, and if you were a girl, you always had a ton of Barbies, So that's how it becomes toxic. It becomes toxic because, people were starving themselves, or, they had to get nose jobs, boob jobs. They hated themselves because how could they measure up to this perfect Barbie? That's why they say toxic femininity. Now, toxic masculinity portrays men, a good man is someone they glorify strength, they glorify fertility, they glorify stoic, a man being a stoic, not showing any emotion, hiding their real feelings. Like, if you cried, a man can't cry because that's not strong, That's not stoic. That doesn't show strength. So they had all these misconceptions about the male, what the male was supposed to be, and they glorified them. So boys couldn't play with dolls. Boys couldn't cry. You were a sissy. Be a man, Smoke the Marlboro. This is another thing that's toxic. They always show a man, smoking, drinking. Can you hold down your liquor? Then you're a real man. Don't let a girl drink you under the table. A guy, men had to love other women. How many notches have you had on your bedpost? These were like toxic concepts that people had, that they glorified these, society glorified these. So boys growing up thought, oh, I gotta be a real man. They believe in these falsehoods. I can't cry, I can't show my emotion. I've got to bang all these women, otherwise, I'm not a real man, If you haven't lost your virginity when you're a boy by a certain age, you're not a real man. And God forbid, if you didn't like girls, if you were gay, back in my day, not now, see? But that's why we call this toxic masculinity. That's why so many people that I knew that were gay never came out of the closet till much later. I knew people who were gay in school and everything, and Andrew's best friend in school was gay, Kenny, and he got married and had children because, oh no, you don't say that. Your parents would disown you. They would not want anything to do with you. You're not a real man, you're a wimp. This was the toxic masculinity. You had to live up to this, glorified image of what a man is supposed to be. Just like a girl had to live up to the toxic feminine image of what a girl's supposed to be. She had to be like these Barbie dolls. Well, what does a man have to be? Well, a man, he can't, the way a man handles things is he fights with his fists. He don't discuss things. He never discusses his feelings. He never shows any emotion. Tears? That's a sissy. He only beds women and a lot of women, to show how manly he is. He's had all these women until he gets married, And he's got to hold down his liquor really good because a real man drinks, And probably, they drink whiskey, like wine. What do you drink in wine? Or beer, whiskey, I don't know. But not, wine, that's a feminine drink. So they had these concepts that, were really ruining people's mental health, because both boys and girls growing up saw this, because back then there was ads all over the place, there was commercials all over the place, and you had to watch the commercials back then. Now today people don't have to watch the commercials, right? But back then there was you always had to watch. There was no VCRs. You couldn't pre-record. You couldn't you can shut the commercials off if you pay money. I don't do that, but you can't fast forward for it. I mean, back then, in magazines, always ads, men being men and women being women. They stay home with an apron on and look really seductive and sexy for their husbands when they come home, and cook and clean all day and take care of the children while they look beautiful and stick skinny and big bosomed and tiny little noses and young and flawless skins. And if the young girls looking at that couldn't live up to that image, it was like, my God, what's wrong with me? It would give them such a low self-esteem, both the boys and the girls, The boys would hate themselves if they didn't live up to the toxic masculinity, how men are glorified, being tough and rough, not crying, only liking woman, looking at being attracted to another man. So that's why a lot of these people, they couldn't accept themselves, and a lot of them unfortunately committed suicide because of what society did. How society, glorified the man and glorified the woman to be, and boys and girls watching this, growing up, they could not live up to this. So they ended up taking it out on themselves and starving themselves, or not accepting themselves, hating themselves, figuring, I can't live anymore because I don't fit. I'm not what society says I should be. And this is a very, very important topic to cover. And so I wanted to cover both the men's side and the women's side in the same video, because I didn't want people to think I was prejudiced against one sex over another sex. But the thing is, growing up now, it's a much different era. All right? Women and men, a woman can be whatever she wants to be. She can run for president, She can become president of the United States. Women don't sit home and just cook and clean, Women beautiful women come in all different shapes and sizes, They're not just like a Barbie doll. Now they have every kind, and they're not just American. They have Asian, they have colored, or they have Hispanic. They have every kind out there. It isn't just like the American girl or something is the epitome of what a woman should be. Or women don't marry today. They don't have children. They don't have to have children. They can do whatever they want. They're educated. So we've come a long way. People, gay couples can get married. Can you imagine back in the day when I was growing up? Are you kidding? Get married, So yes, I am very grateful that we have come a long way, but a lot of people have suffered in my generation, okay, they have suffered a lot because of this masculine and feminine toxicity, because of what society has glorified, these misconceptions of what men and women are supposed to be. A lot of people develop serious mental health issues like anorexia, okay, like bulimia, like depression, like suicide. A lot of these mental illnesses, are coming from the way that society has conceptualized the sexes. And boys and girls just cannot, live up to those images. It's not healthy. Thank God I didn't do that to my children. I never did that with my kids. I bought my children whatever they wanted. I got Alex a doll, whatever. I didn't care if you wore pink. I always encouraged my sons to cry openly. They can cry openly, even as adult men, as young children. Never, other parents, my God, I've heard other parents yell at their kids, right in front of me at martial arts. When my son was in martial arts, his friend, was there, and he was upset at something, and he started crying, and his father said, "What are you doing? Don't be a crybaby, you sissy. Why are you crying like a girl?" Like a girl, see? That's another toxicity example that, it's okay if girls cry because that's feminine. Girls crying is a feminine thing. But boys, what are you, a sissy? You don't cry, you suck it up. You're a man, So, and when the father made it worse for the kid, I felt really bad because, it was just like, the kid's already upset. His son's already upset about something. I don't know what it was. It was many years ago. And the father is laying it on thick like, you shouldn't be, showing it. You shouldn't be crying. Suck it up and be a man, even though you're 6 years old. So, yeah, I thought this was an important topic to cover. And I'm grateful that society no longer thinks like this. And I'm grateful that I didn't raise my sons the way I was raised. Now look at the Barbies. Now Barbies are good because they come in all different shapes. I love looking at toys. I go to the toy store and I see, Barbies that aren't stick skinny, all different shapes, sizes, careers. They do all the different careers, and I'm liking it. And men who cry, women love men. They say they're sensitive. A sensitive man, that's a turn on for me. I love sensitive men. I love a man who can show his emotion. I don't like stoic men, That's not for me. No way, So it just shows you where we come and where we were. It wasn't a good place. I know we still have a long way to go, but we're getting there. So let me know what you think about today's topic. Did you grow up that way, like I did? And let's continue talking and communicating. I got a lot of new subscribers, a lot of new people who comment, and I love it. I love when new people subscribe and comment. The more comments, the greater, because now we're building and building and building, and it's awesome. All right, till next time.